I have my new 2020 13-inch MacBook Air here. I thought this would be the perfect opportunity to share with you my MacBook customization and organization tips and tricks. I've tried to include tips and tricks in here that genuinely benefit me when I'm using my MacBook, and also tips that haven't been shared a ton already. I also have a secret tip that I use to customize my desktop folder icons, where I can get any icon I want and any color that I want. So you're definitely going to want to stick around for that one. But before we get right in to customizing this MacBook, hello, my name is Fab. Hi, if you're new on this channel, I make lots of fun fashion and lifestyle content. So if you like videos like this, please do hit the subscribe button and hit that notification bell too, so you don't miss any videos. So I actually did initially buy a 2020 MacBook Air, but I ended up returning it after only 2 days. Now I have made a video all about my experiences with that MacBook Air, so I'll leave a card up here and a link in the description down below if you'd like to watch it. Spoiler alert, didn't have the best time with it, hence why I've now got the 2020 MacBook Pro, and I've had this MacBook Pro for about 3 days now, and honestly, so much better. So because I've only had this thing for about 2 or 3 days, I haven't got around to customizing it, so let's get right into it. All right, I'm gonna start off by customizing my desktop background. In quite a few of these videos, I've noticed people love to make really aesthetic, busy collages for their desktop wallpaper, and they do look really cute. But my issue with that is I don't know how these people see anything on their desktop. I feel like I would always be searching for my folder icons. So I do like to make my own desktop wallpaper, and although I do want it to look pretty and aesthetic, I want it to be a lot more simple. So for me, I'm going to personalize it with really pretty colors, and I'm also going to put a quote that speaks to me on there. This desktop wallpaper that I've created, I've actually put a Dolly Parton quote on it because she is an icon of mine, and I've been listening to a lot of her music lately to get me through. Side note, you should totally go listen to her new song, When Life Is Good Again. If you're feeling a bit of anxiety about the state of the world, go listen to that song. It will make you feel a lot better. So I have taken this inspiring quote of Dolly's: if you want the rainbow, you gotta put up with the rain. And I've made it into my own personalized desktop background. So I actually make this desktop with Adobe Spark. Adobe Spark is very similar to Canva, but in my opinion, it's a lot better. It's a lot easier to use, and it gives you little design nudges or tips along the way. Most of the features on Adobe Spark are free to use. You can upgrade it, but all the features that I use are totally free. All you have to do is make an Adobe account. So to make your own desktop wallpaper, the first thing we need to do is find out what the dimensions of your particular screen are, because you might not have this exact 2020 model of MacBook, and all the MacBook screens are ever so slightly different. So to find the dimensions of your particular screen, go up to the Apple icon in the very left-hand corner, then go to About This Mac, and then click Displays. And right here in the parentheses, it will show you what you need to make the dimensions of your MacBook wallpaper. Then let's hop back over to Adobe Spark and create a new project, and it will give you some already set up dimensions, things like Facebook posts or Instagram posts, but we're going to make our own custom size graphic, and then just pop in the dimensions that we just found from that display section. The first thing I'm going to do is click on the project so I can change the background color, and I'm going to choose one of the colors that it has in here. I'm going to go for this really beautiful light peach. Next, I want to add text to my quote, and I'm actually wanting to have a couple of different fonts in here. So I'm going to add the different lines of the different quotes separately. So click Add, and then Add Text. And it actually gives you all these text templates that you can scroll through and see if you like any of those. I use a bunch of these all the time, and they're really great, but today I'm actually just going to add my own text, and I'm going to type in at the beginning of my Dolly quote that I want to be in that first font. Now it's just going to give us a random font with random colors, but we can go ahead and customize that. The first thing I'm going to do is take the shape box off from the background. So click Shape and scroll up and click No Shape. And I actually do like this white color that it's given me, but I'm going to change the font. So I'll go back up to Type, And Adobe Spark has a bunch of fonts in there loaded that you can choose from, but you can also add your own fonts. So I have a few fonts here that I have accumulated over the years that I've loaded up into Adobe Spark, and I am going to go for this Rossville font, and I'm going to actually leave this as the size that it is right now because I want to put all my different text in there, and then I'm going to start messing around with the size. So I want the word rainbow to be big, so I'm going to go through the same process. I'll add the text, I'll change the font, and this time I'm going to change the color as well. So it does give us some suggested colors that it thinks will look nice in the design, but I have my eye on this color, which is a bit of a darker peach, and I can go ahead and drag that under my first line. Now what I can do, because I want the next line to be the same font and size as that first line of text I put in there. So if you just bring your mouse up here, it says edit text, then you have delete text, and then you have duplicate. So I'm going to go ahead and duplicate that first line of text, and I can bring it under the word rainbow, and then I can go ahead and edit it and put in that second line. I'm then going to do the same with the duplicating. I'm going to duplicate the word rainbow, bring that down and edit it so it's just rain. And I actually want the word rain to be a different color for this one. So if I go over to the color suggestion, it has suggested this nice dark green, but I actually think I want it to be slightly lighter. So if you just click these three lines here, you can actually then go in and choose any specific color that you want. If you have the color code of a color, you can also use the picker tool to find a very specific color, or you can come down here and mess around with the colors until you find something that you like. So now all that's done, I'm just going to add Dolly Parton's name down there in a little cursive font. You know, we've got to give her the credit. And once I have all my text in there, I can now go ahead and size it up to the sizes that I want. And it actually comes up with these blue and pink lines, which will guide you. So it's super helpful. And then you can just mess around with your quote with the different sizes and the fonts until you get something that you're happy with. Just remember that when you are creating this quote background, that your folder icons are probably going to sit on either side of it. So you want to leave some space there for them to sit, but this is looking pretty good. So once you're happy with your wallpaper design, you can go up to download up there in the right-hand corner, click that, and I'm going to download this as a PNG. So click start download and then solid color, and it will go into your downloads folder. And from there, you can make it your desktop background. If you don't know how to do that, I will quickly take you through it. All you need to do is go to System Preferences, go to Desktop and Screensaver, and then you can just choose your wallpaper, and voila! Look at you with your little custom quote desktop background. It's looking cute. Okay, so once I have my beautiful desktop background up there, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to create a second desktop. This is because I like to multitask, so I do like to be doing one thing on one desktop and something on the other one, and I can just easily flick between the two workspaces. So this is super easy to do. All you need to do is press the F3 key on your keyboard. So once you press the F3 key, a bar will appear up the top that says desktop on it. So move your mouse up there and you'll see that this menu appears, and on the right hand side there is a little plus button. So just click that and there you go, you have a second desktop. And if you press that F3 key again, go up to that little menu, you'll see that the plus sign is still there because you can add even more desktops if you want to. I think the most desktops I've had is 5. That was probably too many because then it gets confusing about what's open on what desktop. So I am probably going to stick to only 2 desktops at the moment, but just know there's the option to add more desktops if you need more workspaces. Now it's going to be kind of annoying to have to press the F3 key and move my mouse up and click on the other desktop every time I want to switch between them. So what I'm actually going to do is create a keyboard shortcut. That way it'll be super easy, super streamlined to just flick between the 2 workspaces. So to do this, come down to System Preferences, click Keyboard, and then go to Shortcuts. And you'll see on this menu at the bottom, it says Switch to Desktop 1 and Switch to Desktop 2, and they're not turned on. So if we just click these little boxes, and we'll activate those keyboard shortcuts. And it has given us these keyboard shortcuts shortcuts already, but I actually don't want to use these ones. I have a keyboard shortcut that I use to flick between them that I've been using for years now. So my one is Command right arrow or Command left arrow. So if you're like me and you want to customize the actual keyboard shortcut that you want to use, go and double click on the one that it's given us, and then you can pop in the shortcut that you actually want to use. Just remember that when you put in this shortcut, you kind of have to think of it backwards. And what I mean by that is when you're switching to desktop 1, you're actually coming from desktop 2. So that's going to be Command left key. And then when you're switching to desktop 2, you're coming from desktop 1. So that is Command right key. I hope that that makes sense. The instinct is to do it the other way around. And now I have my keyboard shortcut set up and I can easily flick between my two desktops. Alrighty, let's talk folder icons. I'm going to show you how I get any icon I want in any color that I want. Okay, so we're gonna go back into Adobe Spark, good old Adobe Spark. They should be sponsoring me by this point. And what we're going to do is create a new post. And for the dimensions this time, I'm actually just going to make it the Instagram post because it'll just give us a nice square. I don't know why it's a square because the Instagram dimensions have been 4x5 for years now, but that's an issue for another day. But this Instagram post dimension, because it's a square, is going to be really good to create our folder icons. So come over here to the add button and then press icon. And here is where it gets really, really exciting. So what you can now do is type in pretty much anything and then hundreds of icons are going to show up. If you want all your folders to be the same icon with the same color, you could choose something like a star. So typing in star, look at all these really cute stars that come up and there are so many options. You could scroll and scroll and scroll. You could do the same thing for heart or rainbow or something like that. But what you can also do is make a really specific icon. For example, you see here that I have a YouTube folder. This is where I keep all my things for YouTube. So I can just type in YouTube and all these YouTube icons come up. But what I'm actually going to do, I have this really fun idea. Because I've got that Dolly Parton quote in there, I'm actually going to make all my icons Western themed. And I'm going to actually match the different colors of the icons to the colors that I chose for my quote. So I'm gonna type in cactus and look at all these really cute cactus items that have come up. So I'm gonna go for this one right here. The first thing I'm gonna do is resize it. And I'm gonna make it as big as possible within the square, and then I'm also going to center it. And these pink lines are really helpful because they make it really clear where the center is. Next, I'm gonna come over to color and see Adobe Spark is really smart because it's given us suggested colors. And look, one of these suggested colors is the exact color that I wanted because it is that specific color that I chose for the word rain in the quote. So I'm gonna click on that green and here is my cute cactus icon. Now, once we're happy with that, we can go up to download and we want to download this as a PNG. Then we'll click start download and it's going to prompt us whether we want this to be solid color or transparent background. And you want to click transparent because we want just the icon of the cactus. We don't want it to be within a white square, and that will download straight to our download box. So now when I open it up, I have an icon with a transparent background that we can just pop onto our folders. Now I will quickly show you how to put them on the actual folders in case you don't know, because it is super easy to do. The first thing you want to do is double click and open up your PNG that you just created. Then go to edit and then click copy. Now you actually want to make sure that you are copying from the PNG when it's opened up. You don't want to copy from the small little thumbnail simply because it won't work. Then we can go over to the folder that we want this icon to go onto. And if you hold down Control on your keyboard and then click with your mouse on that folder, a menu will come up and then you want to click on Get Info. So then this little box comes up and you can go edit and then paste and there is your icon, or you could just click on that little blue folder icon and do Command V to paste. Oh my gosh, that cactus looks adorable. I can't wait to do the other ones. So I've gone ahead and I've changed all my icons to match them with my Dolly quote, and I've gone with that country western theme, and I just love it. It's so cute, and you know, it's so personal. All right, let's talk about the dock. A lot of customization options with the dock. You can make it bigger, smaller, have it sitting on the side, and those are really good customizations. But the first thing that I'm actually going to do is get rid of all of the apps that I don't use. You know, there's a lot of stuff sitting down here, and it's really hard to see things because I don't use 2/3 of these apps. So find an app that you don't want on your dock, hold down Control on your keyboard and click that app. And then if you go to options, then you can just click remove from dock. Now, don't worry, you're not actually removing these applications from your computer. You can always go into your applications folder and find them. You're just getting them off the dock so they're not taking up so much space. Now, if you noticed, I just got rid of the Mail app because I'm not gonna lie, I hate that Apple Mail app, but it is going to be super annoying to have to open up my browser, type in Gmail, find my inbox every time I want to check my emails now. But I actually have a way that I can add Gmail and get it to sit in my dock. So I'm going to go into Google Chrome and get my Gmail inbox up. I'm also going to open up the application section in my Finder. From there, I just highlight the URL of my email inbox and I drag it over into the applications folder. And there it is. That is my Gmail as an application. Now it's looking a little ugly, and I actually want to put the real Gmail icon on it so it looks legit. So I'm just going to do a Google image search, type in Gmail icon PNG transparent, and the first thing that comes up is exactly what I want. So I'll just save that. Then I can go through the exact same process that I went through to add those icons onto those desktop folders, and I can copy that Gmail icon onto the application. From there, all I need to do is drag this application down onto the dock, and it will want to sit on the right hand side of the dock. For some reason, you're not allowed to put it over onto the left side, but that's okay by me. I mean, it's still very easily accessible. And now when I click this Gmail icon, it opens up straight to my Gmail inbox. Now this trick isn't exclusive to Gmail. You could take any web page that you visit frequently that you want to sit on your dock and have it easily accessible that you can just click on and it will open straight up for you. Now onto customizing Google Chrome, and there are tons of tips out there on how to customize it. As you can see, the theme of mine is pink, and this is extremely easy to do. I will show you right now if you don't know how. Go to the 3 dots up there on the right hand corner and then click settings. Then on the menu on the left hand side, click appearance, and then right there at the top is themes. And there are a ton of themes to choose from, but another way to customize your Google Chrome is the home page. You can actually choose an image to sit under here when you open it up. So you could just do a Google image search or maybe a Pinterest search to find an aesthetic image to personalize your Google Chrome background. But the trouble is with that, on Google, it's really hard to find nice aesthetic images, and then the flip side is Pinterest. They have the aesthetic images, but the resolution is so low that it's not worth it. So what I do is go to a website, it's called unsplash.com, and this is basically a website where people post their super aesthetic photography, but it is totally free to use, and it's all in super high resolution. So I could type in any theme that I'm going for. For example, I'm really missing Disneyland right now, so I might want a little bit of Disney magic when I open up my Chrome. I'm gonna go ahead and type in Disneyland, and all these are really beautiful and aesthetic images that people have taken come up. So you can just scroll through and choose one that you like for your Google Chrome. I like this one. When you find an image that you like, just click this little arrow here to download the photo, and it will go into your downloads folder. So then you can go back onto a Google Chrome homepage, and down here in the right hand corner, click customize and choose that image that you just downloaded. And there is a super easy way to get a very high resolution but also super aesthetic photo for the background of your Google Chrome. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is probably the thing that has helped me the most in my MacBook experience. I'm on my computer a lot, I do a lot of editing, I'm looking at this bright screen a lot, and I was noticing that my eyes were hurting a lot more anymore. I've tried using those blue light glasses, but they gave me the worst migraine ever. But then I found out that the MacBook actually has a blue light filter built into it, and you can actually schedule this blue light filter to come on at nighttime. That way you don't have to remember to turn it on. Come down to System Preferences and click Displays, and then you'll see here it says Night Shift, so click that, and here you can schedule it to turn on from sunset to sunrise automatically. Apple just knows when the sunset is. I suppose it is linked with the calendar and the clock, and I cannot tell you how much this has saved my eyes. I've noticed such a decrease in my eye strain since I have started scheduling this. The only thing you have to remember is if you're doing any sort of task that requires you to see the true color of something, maybe you're editing a photo or you're color grading footage, or even you're creating a desktop background and you want to see the actual colors, the blue light filter does affect the colors of your screen. It makes things look a lot more yellow than they really are. So you just have to remember that when you're doing a task like that you have to go and manually turn off that blue light filter and then turn it back on when you're done with that task. Now I know this is a bit fiddly to have to go and manually turn it on and off, but I think it's worth it. You know, eyes and eyesight are very, very important. So I personally do think it is worth it, even though you do have to go back into those system preferences and manually switch it off and on. But if you do have this touch bar, they make it a ton easier to turn the night shift on and off. You can actually customize the default things that come up on your touch bar, like the volume, the brightness, and you can add night shift to that. So to add night shift button to your touch bar, go to System Preferences, then Keyboard, then click Customize Control Strip, and you're able to pull things down onto the touch bar that you want to show up and pull things off the touch bar that you don't use. Now this makes it super easy, so you can just literally just touch that night shift option and it'll turn the blue light filter on and off. I still recommend having it scheduled to come on from sunset to sunrise, because a couple of days ago I was doing something, it was like 9:30 at night, and I was like, why are my eyes hurting? And then I realized I hadn't turned the blue light filter on. So I do recommend having that scheduled. And there you have it. I really hope that you found those MacBook customization and organization tips helpful. And if you did find them helpful, return the love and like this video and subscribe to my channel for more. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye. Oh no, I gave my heart away.